What's going on, everybody? It's Gribbers here. Today we're going to go ahead and look at why the player archetype matters in Madden Ultimate Team, as well as franchise, but we're mostly going to focus on Madden Ultimate Team here. If you are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for more content here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. On Ultimate Team, you only get to use 14 AP points on offense as well as defense. Here's my Steelers team, for example. We are sitting at a 95 overall, looking pretty good. Of these 14 points on offense and defense, you get to use player abilities. Devin Hester here has an ability worth 2 points. Michael Vick has it worth 7. Lynch with 2. And Percy Harvin has 3. What we're going to go ahead and focus on is how to use your AP points and why does the player archetype matter. We're going to go ahead and start with running back as the first example here. We do have two different running backs here. We have Marshawn Lynch, who is a power back, that is his archetype, as well as Le'Veon Bell, who is a receiving back. I'm going to go ahead and show the difference between why these matter and why you should use one or not use one. Marshawn Lynch is a power back, so he's going to be able to do more of the physical type of things, trucking, stiff arm, etc., things like that. So whenever you're going to go ahead and put abilities on players, you really have to pay attention for their archetype. If you go to put Bulldozer on Marshawn Lynch, like I have here, it's going to cost me 1 AP point, and there's a reason behind that. If I go to put that same ability on Le'Veon Bell, it's going to cost more, and I'll show you exactly why. So if we go to add ability here to Le'Veon Bell, we just have to go find it real quick. Here's Bulldozer. It costs 2 AP points for Le'Veon Bell, whereas Marshawn Lynch, it only cost 1. Why, you may ask? Because of the player's archetype. Le'Veon Bell is a receiving back. So any abilities that aren't geared towards a receiving back are going to, by default, cost 1 AP point additional per ability. This is why I use certain abilities on certain players, and I leave them off on others. It's just more efficient. If I wanted to have Bulldozer and Le'Veon Bell, that would be great, but I would be wasting a free point, since it only costs 1 here for Marshawn Lynch. We'll go ahead and take a look at receivers, which is probably more useful. People like to throw the ball a lot here on Ultimate Team, so there's 4 different archetypes for receivers. There's route runners, such as Devin Hester here. We have Najee Harris, which is a physical. We also have Tyreek Hill as a deep threat. But mostly I try to stick to route runners, and here's exactly why. If I'm going to go ahead and put an ability on Devin Hester here, I want to put route technician. I think that route technician is probably one of the better abilities in the game for receivers. Quicker cuts while running routes. It only costs 2 AP points to put on the player since he is a route runner type archetype receiver. If I was to put it on a receiver that does not have the route runner archetype, it's going to cost an additional point here, such as Chase Claypool. He is a physical, not a route runner. He still can get the same ability, but it's going to cost him more. Sorry, it's in the third one here. So if I go to put route technician on Chase Claypool, it's going to cost me 3 points instead of 2. So basically, I'm wasting 1 by putting it on Claypool as opposed to Devin Hester. Not to say that you can't put it on Claypool if that's the kind of play you want to do. Percy Harvin kind of came with abilities, so that doesn't really count, but he would also count as a route runner. So route technician for him would only cost 2 points. We'll look at Stefon Diggs. He doesn't have any abilities. He's just in the lineup, 93 overall. But if we went to go ahead and put route technician on him, it's going to only cost 2 points because he is a route runner. There we go. Route technician, 2 points. So that's how to effectively go ahead and use your AP points with your player archetypes. Another really good example is the defensive tackle. One of the best abilities in the game here definitely has to be inside stuff for a defensive tackle. Anytime they run like an inside zone or Something to that degree, they're going to be able to get off the block real quick and try to tackle that running back. If you use this with a run stopper type archetype defensive tackle, it's only going to cost you 1 AP point. As you can see for DJ Reader here, he is a run stopper. If we want to put inside stuff with him, it's only 1 point. Let's go ahead and take a look at a defensive tackle that does not have run stopper, and we'll compare. So you can kind of see a theme here. Run stopper, run stopper, run stopper. Roy Selmon is not a run stopper. He is a power rusher. So if you want to go ahead and put inside stuff on him, it's going to cost me an additional point. Inside stuff right here, I can't even unlock it because he's not a high enough level, but nonetheless, if I were to put it on him, it's going to cost me 2 points as opposed to 1. Basically, if you use abilities that are better geared towards your player archetype, you can put more abilities on your players. With running backs, anytime you have a power back, look to put those physical traits on, like bulldozer, stiff arm, things like that. If you have a receiving back, you could put abilities like backfield master and things like that on them because they're going to cost less points. Receivers is a really, really easy example. Route technician is I recommend it on my players. It's only going to cost 2 points here for Devin Hester since he's a route runner. But if I put it on Chase Claypool, it's going to cost me 3. So that's throwing away a wasted ability slot there. So whenever you are choosing your players and choosing what abilities to put on your team, I would really, really recommend to pay attention to the player archetype that said player is. If they're a route runner, you can get a little bit of a discount on route technician. If they're a run-stopping defensive tackle, you can get a little discount there on inside stuff, for example. Same thing applies with these other players, like Taylor Mays. He's zone, as opposed to Troy Polamalu, who is a hybrid. The abilities geared towards them will be a little bit cheaper if you use the correct abilities. TJ Watt is a speed rusher here, so if I put some type of speed trait on him, it's going to cost 1 less point because that's the type of player he is. So whenever you're building your lineup, try to stick to the abilities that are associated with your players to maximize your AP points, to go out there and dominate on the field. And again, if you did find this information helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.